afternoon, everybody. Today we are at Madison Lake. The scenery. So it's a really nice morning. It's starting to get a little bit hot. But there's nobody else on this beach. So anyways, brought you out here today. 39 years ago, I was out on this beach. It was nicer then. It kind of looks like it's a lot of green moss and all that kind of stuff. It don't look all that what it did back then. But anyways, 39 years ago, I was on this beach and I was in a canoe and I was 9 months pregnant. It was me, my ex-husband, wasn't my ex-husband then, is now, but anyway, my mom and her boyfriend. So down over that way, there's a little marina, and we rented a canoe, and it was on a Sunday morning, and I worked at Ponderosa at the time, and it was Sunday. It was my day off, and then Wednesday I was supposed to take off work to have my son take my leave or whatever, starting on Tuesday because I was going to have him on Wednesday. But anyways, we came out here and rented a canoe, like I said, and we went out, and I told my mom, I said, "Mom, my back's hurting." She's like, "Oh, it's just because you're pregnant." So we go out a little further, and I'm like, "Mom, my back's hurting really, really bad." And she's like, "It's okay." We go out further. Then I start screaming. I said, "Mom, I think I'm in labor." I was set up to have a cesarean. That's why I knew I was going on Wednesday. I was set up to have a cesarean on Wednesday because he was breech. So when I started screaming, saying I think I'm in labor, then we came back, and I remember it was right here. We parked the canoe right here, right out here, and we walked up here to the grass, and Mom laid a blanket down, and I laid on the blanket just to see if things would get better, and it didn't. So they went and told the people down there past where Randy is to come and get the canoe, that we parked it here because we had to get off because of my labor pains. So we got in the car and left. On the way there, we got stopped by the police, and the police, Randy's over there playing. We got stopped by the police, and they said they'd escort us to OSU Hospital. Well, somewhere along the way, we passed them up because we couldn't be behind them. They were too slow. I was in labor, and he wasn't coming out natural, so we had to get to the hospital. So we passed him up, got there. Instead of parking in the emergency, my mom's boyfriend parked us in the main hospital. So then all these people had to come and get me, put me on a bed and stuff to roll me back to where I need to be. And I didn't get an epidural because I was in labor. They were very close together, and there was no time for an epidural or anything. So anyway, yeah, no epidural. I had him at 4:20 in the afternoon. So they got him out of there really quick. And it was a good thing that we did have, back then, a Polaroid camera. Because we had it with us. We didn't take no pictures on the lake, because as soon as I got here, the labor started. So we did get got to take pictures. And this is my picture of him being born. And then this is his picture. at the hospital. But yes. So, he came out, everything was okay. We didn't know he was a boy because back then you couldn't find out what they were. So yeah, that's my story about him right here on this lake. And I don't think I've been, I don't think I've been back here since. I think we drove by it a couple times, but I never stopped. Yeah, I think after that we always went to Alum Creek to go to the beach. I mean, it's nothing about having him, almost having him here or whatever, but going in labor, but just we lived out north, so we went to Alum Creek all the time. And then we took him home. I had to stay in the hospital for 5 days because of cesarean, and when I got home, my incision got infected, so they rushed me back to OSU in about 3 days after getting home, 2 or 3 days after getting home, and my incision was infected. So they took me in and they started cutting my stomach before I was completely numb. I remember that's the worst pain in my whole life. I've had 3 cesareans, but that was the worst pain in my whole life because they had to start cutting me open before I was even out or all the way numb, because they said they had to get the infection out or it would have killed me. So they did that. That was the worst pain. And then I had to stay in the hospital for like 3 days, I think, with that. Not being able to see my son, because back then you couldn't bring kids in the hospital and stuff. So that was a bad time. Then a year later, I had my daughter, Monica. I was supposed to have her on a Monday, and on Friday I told my sister if she watched David while I went to the laundromat, I would watch her kids that night while she went to the bowling alley. So she had 3 kids, and I was at the laundromat. My husband worked right down the street, and my water broke, and she was set up for a C-section too, because once you have a C-section, if you have any more kids within the next few years, you have to have a C-section again. So I was at the laundromat, and my water broke at the laundromat 3 days early again. Had her on a Friday, and I was supposed to have her on a Monday, so each of them came 3 days early. After that C-section, everything was good and everything. It was like having twins a year apart, year and 3 weeks. And then 2.5 years later comes my youngest son, my last son, and they set him up to come like 2 weeks early because I kept going in labor and water breaking and everything for the other 2. So they set me up to have him early, and he was only 6 pounds because they took him 2 weeks early. And with him, I was paralyzed for about 48 hours. When they gave me the epidural, something went wrong. He's the only one I had the epidural for. And I was put to sleep for him. The other 2 I stayed awake for. For him, I went ahead and just went, went whatever, anesthesia or whatever. And anyway, it paralyzed me for 48 hours. And my mom and husband knew about that, but they didn't tell me. They said, oh, it's just because you had a baby. I'm like, no, I've had 2 other babies and I didn't feel this way, which I didn't have epidurals, but yeah. So anyways, all 3 of them are great, doing good. They got their kids. They gave me grandkids. But I just thought I'd bring you out here, and since I'm out here, I thought I'd give you the full story of everything. Show you around some more. There's Randy. Hi.
You pointed at me.
Oh, there you go.
You're still not. There you go.
This thing gets along. So when we first came out here, all these geese and stuff were out here. They're no longer here. They all took off. Did you? Why?
Huh?
Why?
Because I wanted to walk down there. I didn't want to get attacked by them. Them things attack you.
Oh, I know.
I was outnumbered.
Oh yeah, that reminds me. When my daughter was about, I'd say about 2.5 or 3, maybe not even that old, I'm not sure. We took her out to a lake and we took, I think it was Rice Krispies to feed the ducks because it's easier for kids to throw Rice Krispies instead of crackers. So she had 2 handfuls and she was so tiny and she didn't know to throw them, so she kept them in her hands. The geese seen them in her hands and they attacked her. She didn't get hurt or anything. She started screaming. It scared them. But yeah, we kept screaming at her to open her hands, open your hands. Because they wanted what was in her hands and they knew there was stuff there. They wanted it. And I have a picture of that at home. That's cute. She's terrified. Well, it wasn't cute then, but it is now to tell her about it and show her friends it and stuff.
Man.
But anyways, that's my story. They have a little park over here. A little picnic area. I see an animal over there, I'm not sure. Oh, it might just be a big squirrel. Randy's throwing rocks, acting like he's young again.
Man, I can't believe how far I can throw.
Yeah, when he goes home, when he gets home, he's gonna be like, oh, my arm hurts.
Oh, geez. All right, I'm breaking out in the sweat.
I know, it is hot out here. I'm ready to get out of here. Okay, so anyway, that's my story. And we're gonna get off here, go home, because the Browns are playing today and we need to win. And that's that. So anyways, everybody have a wonderful, beautiful evening, day, and then an evening. But anyways, yeah. Like, subscribe, hit that bell for more, and everybody have a wonderful, wonderful, blessed day. Bye.